For the last few days, we've seen disaster footage from Japan and watched death tolls rise while survivors continue their search for missing loved ones. The most recent numbers from Japan show 4,314 are dead, 8,606 are missing, and 2,000 have been injured. Through all this, one thing we haven't seen much of is violence, chaos, and looting among the Japanese people, something we've seen in other disasters across the world, even here in the United States. Japanese-American actor and activist George Takei joined us last hour to talk about how Japan is dealing with this tragedy, and I asked him what the Japanese term gaman meant to him and the Japanese.
It means to endure with fortitude and dignity, self-restraint, control. And, because Japan is a very densely populated country, you have to be respectful of others and exercise self-restraint. And it's really moving and powerful to see people who I'm sure are experiencing great anguish, having lost family and loved ones, to be so orderly and dignified in that.
George, what are the limits of gaman? At what point do the Japanese say, I'm not sure that the authorities know what they're talking about or what they're doing? Is it based on trust for authority, or is it based on something else?
Well, the alternative is to start shouting, complaining, and what is that going to do? It's just going to make the situation worse. So it's better to restrain yourself, and if you see that there might be something questionable, you gather together collectively. Japan is a very collectivist society, and they work in concert with others. And in doing that, you have to exercise restraint as well as endure some people who might not be quite as restrained as you are.
Here's something interesting, though, that collectivist society is very helpful in a disaster like this. We have found people going back into those nuclear plants to try and deal with the situation. So this gaman doesn't stop you. Dignity and that reserve doesn't stop the Japanese from solving the problem and going in and trying to deal with the tragedy.
Well, there again, there's gaman. They are members of a community, so they know that they're taking a high risk, but they bear it, they endure it, fortitude, and for the sake of the others, they go in to keep the situation in the nuclear plants from getting worse. It's a remarkable cultural trait. I think it's a very distinctive thing to the Japanese. And I'm, a third-generation Japanese American, but I remember growing up with that concept.